so good to see you. Thank you for joining in on our Kids Church video for this week. This is our last Kids Church video without Zoom, as it's school holidays is still going on, and then next week we go back to our Zoom sessions. So this week we're going to be talking about integrity because we are into October, which means we have a new theme. And our theme for the month is Unmasked, Drop the Act. We are talking about integrity, as I just said. So we're going to start today by playing a game, and then we'll go into our talks. So let's start our game now. Okay, so for our first game, we're going to play Spot the Missing Item. So what that means is I'm going to tell you a bunch of items that are on the table, and then I'm going to trust you to have integrity and close your eyes while I take one away. Then, when I finish taking it away, you can open your eyes and try and guess what it was that I took away. So let's get that started. First of all, I'll tell you what's here. We have Bullseye, the donkey. Oh, actually, I think he's a horse. Bullseye, the horse. Horse donkey from Toy Story. We have got some hand sanitizer. We have got a giant clip. We have got a yellow, a red, and a blue texter. We have some keys, and we have a pair of scissors. So try and remember what's there. I'll give you a few seconds. Awesome. Now, close your eyes. Thank you. And I'm going to take something away. Keep them closed. All right. I'm going to take something away. Okay, you can open them back up again. Awesome. Okay, what's been taken away? What is it that wasn't here? Can you guess? Awesome, yes. It is the hand sanitizer. And let me put that back. It's okay if you didn't get that right, because we're going to play again. Okay, close your eyes. I'm going to trust that you are showing integrity, and I'm going to take something away. Keep them closed. Okay, what did I take away? Open your eyes. Yes, I took away the blue texter. Good guessing. Awesome, we're going to play one more time. So close those eyes. I'm going to put this blue texter back. Okay, what is it that I took away? Open those eyes. Yes, it is. It's Bullseye. Great job, everyone. Thank you for showing integrity and keeping those eyes closed. What we're going to do now is we're going to do another activity, and then we're going to go into our story. So I'll see you soon. So this week we are talking all about integrity, which means choosing to be truthful in whatever you say and in whatever you do. So to go a bit more into this and to explain it a bit further, doing a little example here of what showing integrity is and what it isn't. So first of all, I'm going to be showing you what integrity isn't, and then we're going to be changing it together into what integrity is. So we're going to start by doing that, but I'm going to show you 4 emoji faces. We have this love heart one. We have this laughing face. We have a grumpy face. And we have a super smiley face. So let's start by setting the scene. You're at school and your favorite teacher is asking you to do something. And let's say her name's Mrs. Smith. Because when I was in school, I had a teacher called Mrs. Smith who was amazing. And she would say to me, with her glasses on like this, Olivia, could you please make sure you do your homework? Okay, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to make sure that I finish it all by tomorrow. And then you've got your happy smiley face on. You're showing her that you're going to be good and do the homework. Then you get home and mum's at home and mum's asking you to do your homework, and you know what? You just decide you don't want to do it anymore. So mum comes over to you and she says, hey Olivia, how are you going with your homework? And you start to be grumpy about it because you want to do something else. So you say, oh, I'm not going to do this homework, mum. I don't want to do it. Well, which face do you think that one is? This is the grumpy face. Our integrity starts to go down the drain, doesn't it? You've promised your teacher you're going to do your homework, and then 5 minutes later you decide you don't want to anymore. So a good way that we can change that is that we can actually remember that, wait a second, no, I said I was going to do this, and I'm going to be kind about it. So we put our smiley face back on and we start to do our homework. Isn't that a good example? Okay, So our next example involves these two. So let's talk about something like that. Let's say your friends, we'll move this one out of the way because our homework's done because we did it. Our friends are out in the courtyard at recess, out in the playground, and we're hanging out with our friend who maybe has just transferred from another school, and he's really cool. He's got some really cool glasses like mine, and you think it's really great that he looks so cool with his glasses on, and you say, "Hey Tim," or if you're a girl, you say, "Hey Emily, how awesome are your glasses?" And they say, "Oh, thank you so much," because they're a little bit shy about them. Then all of a sudden, your friends come over and you want to introduce them to this new person, but you're scared. And your friends start going, hey, this person's weird because he's got glasses on. Oh, ha, 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 ha. And then you have a choice there. You have a choice to either join in with your friends and start laughing at this new person that you meet, or you can choose to love them. You can choose to put on a loving face and say, "You know what, I don't think that we should laugh at this person, at my new friend. I think his glasses are really cool." See, that's showing integrity, and that's a really great way that we can love others for God's kingdom. Isn't that cool? Maybe next time you come into a situation like that, you can choose to show integrity. You can choose to love others with what you say and in what you do. So when mom's annoying you or mom's asking you to do something, put on your happy face. If your friends at school are starting to bully someone or something that you don't agree with, put on your loving face and decide to do the right thing. I think that's really fun, and that's a really cool way that we can love Jesus. Don't you think? Okay, so we're going to watch our videos now from our Orange team, where they're going to be talking about Daniel and a really cool story into how Daniel showed integrity. So we're going to watch that now, and I'll see you after.
Oh, hey. Hello, planet Earth! It's me, Graham, professional astronaut, broadcasting live from outer space. You know, not a lot of people thought I would make it all the way to Saturn, but you know what? They were right. It's just a costume. I'm still on Earth. I love to dress up and pretend to be other people. Don't you? I mean, I love to dress up in costumes and wear scary makeup or funny masks. It's out of this world. because I'm an astronaut. Oh, but today we're talking about what it's like to live our lives without masks, without costumes. What it's like to live with integrity. Now, integrity is choosing to be truthful in whatever you say and do. And it's harder than it sounds to live with integrity. There's so many reasons to pretend to be someone you're not. I mean, you may want people to think you're funny. You may want your teachers to think that you're smart. E equals MC squared. The capital of Mongolia is Ulaanbaatar. A woodchuck can chuck 32 cords of wood. And you probably want your friends to think that you're cool. Cool kids still dress like this, right? See what I mean? It isn't always easy to just be true to who you are. In today's story, we'll learn about some guys who were under a lot of pressure to be like everybody else. We'll find out if they were able to stay true to who God made them to be. I'll be back in a minute. Instead of a minute, it's a moonit. Because I'm in space. Maybe I should dress up as the clown again.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the book of Daniel. Chapter 1.
Daniel was only a very young man when King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon conquered the land of Judah. Nebuchadnezzar made sure that God's people wouldn't rebel by taking Daniel and other young men from royal families in Judah and marching them back to Babylon with him.
Will we ever see our home again?
Daniel's friends were just as scared and confused as he was.
Where will we live? What will he do to us? I sure hope the food is decent.
Daniel tried to reassure them as the imposing city gates rose ahead.
God will be with us, whatever happens.
The king chose the brightest and best young men from Judah and ordered that they receive special training.
After 3 years, you will get to be very important and serve me.
The chief official Ashpenaz took charge of Daniel and his friends.
Tut tut. Those wishy-washy Hebrew names just won't do. You need new ones.
New what?
Names. Let's see. Daniel, we'll call you Belteshazzar. And you three will be Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Are those names, or is he just sneezing?
You'll learn our language, of course. And all the Babylonian writings?
Daniel's heart sank as he realized what was happening. The king wanted Daniel and his friends to forget they were God's people. He wanted them to become Babylonians. But Abednego was worried about something else.
Hey, I'm about to starve. Any way we can get a bite to eat?
Right this way.
Ashpenaz led Daniel and his friends to a big table set with mouth-watering foods.
Steak.
Or those Babylonian buffalo bites.
The cake's got at least 9 layers.
Only the best, straight from the king's table.
Oh, the food smelled delicious. But Daniel pulled his friends aside.
Guys, if this food is from the king's table, that means it's been offered to false gods first.
Uh-oh, not good.
Our new names and training are one thing, but if we eat this food, it's like we're saying we're okay with false gods.
But we gotta eat something, man.
We can ask for different food, simple stuff that hasn't been offered to the false gods.
But that chocolate cake! Abednego! Okay.
Daniel and his friends turned back to Ashpenaz. They tried to ignore the delicious smells wafting from the table.
This all looks great, but could we eat something that's not from the king's table? It doesn't need to be anything fancy.
The king is my master. He's decided what you must eat and drink. What if you don't eat this and he sees you looking worse than the other young men? He might kill me.
No matter what Daniel said, Ashpenaz was too fearful to listen, so Daniel approached the guard assigned to take care of them.
Please, just test us for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. See how we look then.
Well, if Brussels sprouts are your thing.
For 10 days, the guards gave Daniel and his friends nothing to eat but veggies and water.
I could get into the habit of cabbage.
I like broccoli, probably.
Pass the peas, if you please.
I just want a hamburger.
Let me tell you, it wasn't easy to say no to all those delicious foods the other young men got to eat. But at the end of 10 days, the guard called everybody out.
Line them up.
He strode past the other young men.
Good. I can see you've been eating well.
When the guard reached Daniel and his friends, he stopped in surprise.
What? You've been eating rabbit food, but you look even better fed than the others.
Daniel smiled. God had helped them grow strong even without eating the food offered to false gods.
Okay, fine. You can keep eating veggies and water.
Rats?
Thank you.
God continued to give Daniel and his friends knowledge and understanding as they studied, and at the end of their training, they were brought before the king.
Let's see what you know. How many inches in a meter?
39.3701.
What do you call a group of porcupines? A prickle. If it takes 8 men 10 hours to build a wall, how long would it take 4 men?
No time at all, because the wall's already built.
How are you all so smart?
The one true God gives us wisdom.
Well, we'll see about that. Anyhow, you're 10 times smarter than my other advisors. You get to be very important and serve me.
Daniel and his friends eventually became the king's most trusted advisors, and even though they served the king of Babylon, they never stopped standing strong for the one true God in everything they said and did.
Okay, so Daniel and his friends were in a really bad situation. They were taken from their homes and they were forced to be some king's servant. But even then, they chose to be true to themselves. They chose to live the way God wanted them to live. You see that kind of integrity a lot in the Bible. I mean, think of Jesus. He was always true to himself. Jesus could have gone along with the crowd, but instead he lived the way he knew was true, even when it meant giving up his life for you and me. So how can we be true with our lives? Well, it's great if you want people to think that you're fun or funny, but not if it means, say, hurting someone's feelings to get a laugh. I have no idea how to make balloon animals. And being cool is cool, you know? But if you have to pretend to be something that you're not so people think that you're cool, that's not cool. Cool? What's another word for cool? So here's the one thing to remember today. Be truthful with your whole life. You can choose to be who God made you to be. I mean, to be honest and true in what you say and in what you do. Like I said before, it isn't always easy, so ask God for help. That's one small step for you and one giant leap for integrity. Goodbye.
Wasn't that a wonderful story about how Daniel chose integrity, about he chose to do the right thing for God's kingdom? So one more thing before we go, I want to talk to you about our basic truth for this week and our Bible verse. So our basic truth is, I can trust God no matter what. Just like how Daniel could trust God, you can too. And our memory verse is, I'm just going to read it out for you. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will get caught. And that's very true. If we choose to do the wrong thing, we will get caught. But if we choose to do the right thing, we will be blessed. And we will live a better life. Isn't that great, kids? Okay, well that's all for today. Thank you for joining in. And I will see you next week on Zoom. Enjoy your first week back at school, everyone.